Hello and welcome to today's video. In the series of trial balance, in the first video we saw how to create a trial balance and enter the balances in the trial balance. In the second lecture, we saw how to make adjustments to the trial balance. And in today's video, we will see how to correct a trial balance. In your exam, you may get these kind of problems. You will either be given adjustments and you will be asked to enter these adjustments into the trial balance and then create a new trial balance, or you will be asked to rectify a trial balance. The more kinds of problems you practice, the more better you will get at trial balance and the concepts will be more stronger in your hands. So I recommend that you practice a variety of questions. This is another kind of variety in which we are given a trial balance. As on 31st March, but there are some mistakes. See, trial balance has been prepared by a novice. Redraft the same and mention the nature of mistakes in each case. Okay, so let's get right into it. Here, my closing stock has been given 1,01,000. So usually closing stock is an adjustment and it is not mentioned in the trial balance at all. Closing stock will not be shown in my trial balance because it is an adjustment which will be reflected in my trading account. So I will not include that. Now next you can see is capital. A has an overdrawn capital. Okay. An overdrawn capital means it will have a debit balance. It won't have a credit balance. So this is wrong. And B has a debit balance, and here it's not mentioned that it's been overdrawn, so that means it's a normal balance. So this has to come on my credit side. Overdrawn capital means the company has exhausted its capital and now it is borrowed from the business. That's what an overdrawn capital means. So A's is overdrawn, right? And if it has borrowed from the business itself, that means it is in nature like an asset. The owner will have to repay the business 30,000, not the other way around. And B has a balance of 54,500, normal capital credit balance. We have to write notes explaining all of these. We will write it in the end. In your exam, you have to write notes, okay? I am explaining it to you here, but in your exam, you will have to write. Next, we have cash in hand 93,200. Next, we have cash in hand worth rupees 14,000. He has correctly recorded it in the trial balance. So, cash balance debit 14,000. Next, we have bank overdraft. What did he do for bank overdraft? Let's see. Our bank overdraft, he has written it in the debit column. That is wrong. It should come in the credit side. Bank overdraft is a liability. 93,200. This is the next error. Next we have sales. Sales, he has correctly recorded it in the credit side. Purchases also debit side. Okay, he has recorded sales and purchases correctly. Let's write the same. Sales 12,64,000. Number 5, purchases 7,64,000. And see, in the first lecture when I was explaining to you that trial balances have certain limitations and that they just show the arithmetical accuracy and not all errors, this example is a testament to that. This example shows that even if the trial balance is tallying, they can still be errors. So this first error is like an error of principle in which balances are wrongly classified, accounts are wrongly classified. So let's see the next one. Returns inward is having a credit balance and returns outward is having a debit balance. Okay, so this is also reverse. Return inwards is nothing but my sales return, and return outwards is my purchase returns. So this has a debit balance and this has a credit balance. So I have to shift this one over here and this one over here. Okay, so let's write that. Let's write that down. Number 6, sales return slash return inwards 34,000 debit balance. Next, return outwards or purchase returns has a credit balance. And how much is it? 29,000. Okay, so carriage 23,000 he has correctly recorded, but discount allowed he has put in the credit side. Okay, so this is also wrong. Usually discount allowed discount allowed has a debit balance because it is like a loss for the company. We are losing out on 42,000 rupees, so that will be recorded on the debit side. My carriage is correctly recorded on the debit side. So let's write down carriage 23,000 and my discount allowed will come on my debit side 42,000, not on the credit side. So I'm writing note for those other transactions also. I will write. That means that indicates to the examiner that there is some adjustment over there. Now next we have salary. Salary has been recorded correctly. Wages has been recorded correctly. Debtors as well. Creditors as well. Now opening stock. Okay, opening stock has been given to us and he has recorded it on the credit side. So stock is nothing but a asset for us. So that means it needs to be recorded on the debit side. Land and building, no problem. Machinery, no problem. Trade expenses, no problem. Okay, so only our last adjustment is in the opening stock. Okay, so let me just note down all of these balances. He has correctly recorded all the other transactions. I'm just writing down all of those. Number 10. Sundry debtors. 1,65,000. Opening stock. A novice has recorded this on the debit credit side. What did he do? He has recorded it on the credit side. Opening stock has to be recorded on the debit side. It is an asset. And we'll include the opening stock in the trial balance because it represents the closing balance of the previous year, okay? And the closing stock won't be included in the trial balance because it is an adjustment. So on my debit side, I will write the balance 1,21,000. Then the other transactions he has recorded correctly. Land and building. Okay, so now let me calculate the totals. My debit side and my credit side. Let me calculate my totals. So on my debit side, my balances are 30,000 plus 14,000 plus 7,64,000 plus 34,000 plus 23,000 plus 42,000 plus 95,400 plus 37,200. So students who are studying CBSE, you all don't have a calculator in your exam. I recommend that you guys, learn some Vedic mathematics and increase your addition and subtraction skills. Get more familiar with numbers. The more you practice, the more that will happen. Now let me check the total on my credit side. 54,500 plus 93,200 plus 12,64,000 plus 29,000 gives me a total of... Okay, so I'm missing something. What am I missing? Oh, I did not write my sundry creditors balance. Okay, 2,65,000. Okay, 2,65,000. Okay, so my totals are 17,05,700. Okay, so my debit and my credit balance were not tallying. I was finding a difference of 200 because I had by mistake written 1,21,000 for my opening stock when it was 1,21,200. I figured it out, and then now both my balances are tallying. So you need to be really careful in your exam. Sometimes these slide errors can happen. So always carry a scale with you and keep noting down the numbers as and when possible. So I have explained to you each and every transaction and what all errors were there, but when you are writing in your exam, you have to write separately notes, and wherever these notes are there, write down, explain why is it not being recorded or what has happened. See, for discount allowed, it was recorded on the credit side, but it has a debit balance, so we are putting it on the debit side. Similarly, for each and every transaction, you need to explain. So this was the kind of problem where you have to correct the trial balance. Now, in the next video, we will be learning a new concept called suspense account. Now, what is the suspense account? You'll find out in the next video.